it would some of that would affect their matrix. Well, oh, if you put 2 and 2 together, once again, let the little light bulb go off in your head. What he just said. If that is the case, then what is the case when I'm my own upline? Well, obviously, if somebody else is your upline and a couple positions in that matrix affects their matrix, well, obviously, when you are your own upline, that means it's going to affect 2 different matrices at the same time of your own. Instead of the few spots affecting somebody else's, now when you are your own upline, when you get a matrix like this, what this means is that 2 positions, the first 2 spots is going to be the 3rd and 4th in another matrix, or the 5th and 6th in another matrix. So why is that important? Why do you care about that? Like, so what? Somebody basically, said that a couple conference calls ago. Well, what does that mean? That means you're going to save money. You are going to save money. You're going to save $20. Because look at that. If the first 2 spots in this matrix, where you are your own upline, affect either the 3rd or 4th, or 5th and 6th in another matrix, but guess what? That's a placement and a premium placement you don't have to buy in that particular matrix. The other matrix that it affects, you don't have to do that. You don't have to buy it. So therefore, you saving $20. Now, if you got a lower account, that's awesome. If you're on a budget, that's awesome. That's great. That's saving you any chance you get to save some money. I mean, you got to take advantage of that. Now, for somebody like me, this doesn't really affect me, because this matrix that you see right here, this is towards the back end of my account. So I'll never see this matrix or any other matrix in the back unless they eventually start to get filled out. Then they'll move their way to the front, and then I'll probably buy a placement or premium placement with them, and cycle them and move them out. But this was towards the back. So this stuff doesn't really, what I'm about to tell you guys, doesn't really affect me, and people with larger accounts doesn't really affect them. That's just how it goes. We got better matrices than this. But if you are on a budget, if you got a low account, a page or 2 less of matrices, well, this is going to be a great strategy. You're going to affect 2 different matrices at one time. Now, let me repeat what I just said. Many people ask, what does it mean when you are your own upline? That's like one of the major questions. What does that mean? All it means, to break it down on real simple terms, to break it down, when I first explained it, it was more drawn out and complicated. But if we want to break it down real simple, here you go. When you are your own upline, all that means is when you fill the first 2 positions, in that type of matrix, any matrix where you are your own upline, any of them, the first 2 positions in that matrix will also fill either the 3rd and 4th position in another matrix, or the 5th and the 6th in another matrix, therefore saving yourself $20. Well, how does that save you $20? Well, obviously a placement and a premium placement, that's $5 a piece. That's another 10. That's another 5. So that's 10 to fill a position, another 10 to fill another position. So you're saving yourself, because that's 2 less positions in another matrix that you don't have to fill. That's 2